The iPhone's cameras are quite possibly the most impressive cameras on the smartphone market, and the photos look fantastic straight out of the box, but there's still a little bit more we can do to make it even better. Also, fun fact, I actually use the iPhone 15 Pro Max for every single reel now. The ProRes log is that good. It's ridiculous. Sometimes I can't even tell the difference between my Canon R5 and my iPhone. Madness. I'm going to show you some tips that you can choose on your iPhone 15, 14, 13, 12, whatever iPhone you've got. So let's get into some settings. So the first thing you need to do before you even open the camera app on your phone is go into the settings and go into the camera section. Now we'll try to go through each menu, but there is quite a lot to look at, and if I don't mention it, I don't really find it important. When it comes to recording video, I record 4K 24 FPS at high efficiency. Now you might be wondering why 24 frames per second. Well, that's actually how they shoot every single movie. They shoot 24 frames per second at a 1/50th shutter speed just so you can get that nice motion blur that looks really natural. That's what we're using right now on the main camera. Enhanced stabilization, you can keep that one on or off. It doesn't really matter to me. Just know that having it on, it will crop in just a little bit, just to make the video a little bit smoother. The reason that I have it in high efficiency mode is that if I'm recording a video that isn't in ProRes, it's not that important. Therefore, I don't need it taking up too much space on the phone. A major one at the bottom of this category is lock white balance. I always keep this on simply because if I shoot a video and I go to edit it later and the colors are constantly shifting throughout the video because the white balance is trying to adjust for different scenarios wherever I point the camera, it makes it really, really hard to color correct later on. So locking that white balance just means that I'm going to get more consistent colors. However, unfortunately, Apple's not given us the option to choose our white balance yet, which is annoying, but well, I guess we'll just stick with what we've got. Now, when it comes to formats for photos, I use most compatible. This just gives it that extra little bit of information in the JPEG photos. That way you're getting a little bit higher quality. When it comes to photo mode, please use 24 megapixels if you have the option. If not, stick with the 12, but if you have a 15 Pro or Pro Max that can do this, choose 24. Pro RAW and resolution, make sure that this one is turned on if you have the option. If you're not somebody that's going to be editing your photos in Lightroom or extensively color correcting things, then I would go with JPEG Max. So that way you get 48 megapixels and the phone just processes it as it normally would and makes it look as good as any other photo. However, if you are going to be using Lightroom and color correcting all your images, definitely go into the RAW mode. This just allows way more flexibility when changing the white balance or colors or exposure in post-production. Now coming down to the video capture. Now you need to switch this on. This is ProRes. Again, if you're somebody that likes to edit your footage after to upload to Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it just means that you're going to be able to adjust all those colors and lighting with much more information. Think of it as like using RAW mode for video. And if you have the option, if you have a 15 Pro, Pro Max, please select log. If you don't, stick with a HDR. There's nothing more amateur looking than when your exposure is going up and down and all over the place. So by locking it, you just get that extra professional look. Coming out of that menu, moving down to composition, grid, always turn this on. This is a great way to learn the rule of thirds. It'll teach you how to position a subject in a frame much more effectively. Below that, level, turn this on immediately. This is basically when you're filming something, there's going to be a little bar that comes up in the middle and that'll tell you whether or not you've actually got the phone straight. Have you ever done one of these where you're like you can't quite go back any further and you want to take the picture and the phone's right there, but you can't quite see whether or not it's like on the tilt? Luckily, you'll be able to see that line glow up yellow when it is level, which means it's just easier to take that photo when you're a bit in a tight spot. So now you're ready to actually open up the camera app. So once you do get into the iPhone's camera app, in the top right you'll notice that it says RAW Max. Now if you hold down on that, you will actually get the option to shoot in JPEG Max, RAW 12 or RAW Max. Again, if you want that full flexibility and control in Lightroom for editing, go with the RAW Max. I don't even know why RAW 12 is an option. Also, when it comes to low light, now this is a tricky one. Do you use the flash or do you use the low light mode? Let me explain it this way. If you're taking photos of yourself, I personally like to use the flash. Now, that's not everybody's favourite thing to do. I just think the night mode makes everybody look a little bit too mushy. If you're taking pictures of like streets and cars and cities, then fine, landscapes are fine. But if you're just taking photos of like a group picture or a selfie, just use the flash. It looks nice. I think people are just mad that the flash brings up blemishes in your face. If you are the sort of person that does edit all your photos and videos and you'd like to see a video on how to do all that with all your iPhone footage that you're about to go and take, then let me know in the comments if you want to see that video. I'd love to make it. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff you already love to do. I'll see you in the next one. Silly.